There are moments in life when silence speaks louder than any voice, and when unseen trials reveal the true measure of who you are. Some of you listening right now know this deeply, because you have walked through storms no one else has seen. You stood when it was easier to fall. You carried on when no applause was waiting. And that is why today you are here. Being chosen is not a title of pride. It is a quiet recognition of spirit. It means you passed through the hidden gates of endurance without betraying your inner compass. It means that while the world tried to shape you into its image, you stayed rooted in your truth. Passing is not an exam written on paper, it is a test written on the soul. In this teaching, I will share with you lessons rarely spoken outside the temple walls. Lessons drawn from Shaolin discipline, from the art of stillness, and from the science of inner strength. You will learn why hardship was never a punishment, but a hidden form of training. You will see how silence can sharpen the mind sharper than any sword. And you will understand why those who endure with patience are entrusted with clarity that others cannot see. Stay with me until the end, for only there will you see how all of these threads connect, how your struggles, your resilience, and your quiet victories form a path far greater than you once thought. I am Shi Heng Yai. Welcome to Shaolin Mind, where ancient wisdom meets daily practice. If this path speaks to you, I invite you to subscribe and walk with us on this journey of mastery. There is a truth that many overlook: trials are not random. They arrive like hidden teachers, silent and uninvited, yet carrying the lessons that shape our destiny. When we are tested, it is not to prove our weakness, but to reveal the strength that sleeps within us. In Shaolin tradition, every disciple who enters the monastery is placed under great strain. Long hours of training, endless repetitions of simple movements. The body grows weary, the mind begins to resist, and doubt whispers, "Why continue?" Yet this is the moment the trial begins to serve its purpose. For it is not the body that is being tested, it is patience, resilience, and humility. The disciple learns that greatness is not achieved in comfort, but in discomfort, endured with grace. Think of fire shaping steel. Without heat, metal remains brittle, but with the steady presence of flame, it is transformed into a blade, both sharp and unyielding. Life's hardships act in the same way. Each obstacle, each loss, each disappointment, these are the flames of the forge. To pass through them is not to remain unchanged, but to emerge refined. There is also humility in the weight of trials. When pain arrives, arrogance disappears. We see our own limits, and from that honesty, compassion begins to grow. The one who has suffered does not mock the suffering of others. The one who has fallen and risen again learns to walk with softer steps. Passing your trials does not mean you escaped them untouched. It means you allowed them to carve away what was false and reveal what was real. You did not break, you transformed. And in this transformation, you became a vessel strong enough to carry the truth. There is a kind of victory the world does not recognize. It does not appear in celebrations, nor is it written in stories of conquest. It is the victory of remaining calm when anger seeks to control you. It is the victory of holding your dignity when humiliation tries to steal it. It is the victory of rising each morning, steady and disciplined, even when no one is watching. In the old Shaolin halls, masters would remind their disciples that the greatest battles are never fought outside. The true battlefield is the mind. There in silence, impulses clash with discipline, fear collides with courage, and doubt attempts to overcome clarity. Winning such battles leaves no applause, yet it changes the whole course of one's life. Mindfulness is the key to this unseen triumph. To sit with your breath, to notice a thought arise and let it pass without chasing it. This may look like nothing from the outside, but inside it is the training of mastery. Each moment you choose awareness over distraction, patience over reaction, you are carving out strength far deeper than muscle. The ancients often said, "He who conquers himself is greater than he who conquers 1,000 men." This truth remains. The silent victories, the moments where you choose balance instead of chaos, are what shape the character of the chosen ones. They are victories not celebrated in noise, but honored in the quiet chambers of the heart. Over time, these hidden triumphs accumulate. They build an unshakable foundation so that when storms arrive, you no longer waver. Others may see only calmness on the surface. They may not understand the battles you have already won, but within you know. And that knowledge is the purest form of victory. The mind is a restless traveler. It drifts backward into memories, replaying moments that cannot be changed. It races forward into what has not yet happened, creating fears and desires that cloud the present. Left unchecked, it pulls us away from the only place where life is real, this moment right now. In Shaolin teaching, to master the mind is to return it again and again to the present. This is not a single act but a discipline, practiced every breath, every step. The monks call it the training of the invisible blade. Unlike a sword that cuts the body, this blade cuts through illusion. It slices away the fog of regret. It severs the chains of fear. It clears the mirage of desire. What remains is clarity, the direct experience of what is. One old story tells of a young disciple who during meditation complained that his thoughts would not stay still. The master replied, "Every time you return, you are sharpening the blade. Every time you notice and bring your mind back, you are polishing its edge." The disciple came to understand that wandering was not failure, forgetting to return was. This discipline of presence is not about rejecting thought or feeling, it is about meeting them, seeing them, and then choosing not to be carried away. With practice, the mind grows steady, like water that settles into stillness after being stirred. From this stillness, insight arises naturally, like a reflection on a calm pond. Such presence transforms ordinary living. Eating becomes nourishment, walking becomes meditation, breathing becomes renewal. In this way, each moment becomes a training ground, and the invisible blade grows sharper. Over time, the one who trains in presence is no longer ruled by illusions, but walks freely in the truth of now. Strength without softness becomes rigid, and rigidity eventually breaks. Softness without strength becomes weak, and weakness cannot endure. The art of mastery lies not in choosing one over the other, but in learning their balance. Passing through life's trials does not mean you emerge hardened. It means you have discovered when to stand firm and when to yield with grace. In Shaolin practice, this truth is woven into every movement. A strike may begin with force, yet end with relaxation. A stance may root deeply into the ground, yet the breath flows lightly through it. The disciple learns that true power is never constant hardness. It is the dance between tension and release. Consider water, it bends, it flows, it takes the shape of whatever holds it. To the eye it may seem fragile, but over time it shapes valleys and wears down stone. This is the paradox the chosen ones embody. They remain unshaken in spirit, yet they meet the world with gentleness. They know that to resist every current is to waste energy, but to flow with awareness is to move mountains without force. There is an old teaching: the oak that resists the storm may break, while the bamboo bends and survives. This is not weakness, but wisdom. To soften is not to surrender, it is to align with the deeper rhythm of life. Those who understand this balance no longer fear appearing vulnerable. They know softness is strength disguised, and strength is softness guided. In their presence, others feel both safety and steadiness, both compassion and resolve. This harmony is the mark of true mastery, to be like water, firm in essence, yet endlessly adaptable in form. Through this balance, the chosen ones walk a path that cannot be broken. Clarity does not arrive as a gift handed down from the outside. It must be grown, patiently, like a seed nurtured in soil. Within each of us, there is fog, noise from the world, confusion from the mind, emotions rising like storms. If left unobserved, this fog clouds our vision, and we stumble. But when silence, breath, and discipline are practiced, the mist begins to lift, and what once felt hidden becomes clear. In Shaolin tradition, silence is not emptiness, it is refinement. By sitting in stillness, listening to the breath, the clutter of thoughts slowly settles. The discipline of daily practice becomes like polishing a mirror. At first, only fragments can be seen, but with patience the reflection sharpens. This is the law of inner clarity. The more faithfully you return to silence, the more you begin to see things as they are, not as fear or desire paints them. There is a story of a monk who, before making any decision, would walk to the temple pond at dawn. He would wait until the ripples faded and the surface became still. Only then would he look, not into the water, but through it. In the same way, clarity in life requires the stilling of our inner waters. Decisions made from agitation carry regret. Choices born from clarity carry peace. Those who cultivate clarity no longer need constant proof from the outside world. They do not chase validation, nor fear judgment. Their guidance comes from within, steady and unwavering, like a lantern lit in the night. This inner light cannot be borrowed or stolen. It must be kindled through discipline, and once it burns, it shows the chosen ones a path that remains visible even in the darkest hour. There is strength in striking, but greater strength in holding back. The world often measures power by what can be conquered, controlled, or defeated. Yet the wisdom of true mastery teaches another measure, not in how much you can take, but in how much you choose to restrain. Power without guidance may look strong, but it is like fire without a vessel, destructive and uncontrolled. In the Shaolin path, discipline is not only for the body, but also for the heart. To train the fist is easy, to train the intention behind the fist is harder. Restraint is the deeper art. When anger rises, the easy path is to act, the stronger path is to pause, to breathe, and to let compassion lead instead of impulse. Such restraint is not weakness, it is the highest proof of strength. One teaching tells of a master who, though capable of defeating many with a single movement, often chose to bow instead. His students once asked why he refused to demonstrate his full power. The master replied, "If I use strength to crush, I have learned nothing. If I use strength to protect, I have learned everything." In those words lies the essence of ethical mastery. Integrity becomes the compass for the chosen ones. Even when no eyes are watching, their steps remain aligned with truth. Compassion is their shield, and restraint their sword. They understand that harming others without cause is to harm the self, for all things are bound together. Power without ethics is hollow, a mask that hides fear, but power with integrity becomes unshakable. It does not shout, it does not threaten, it simply stands, calm and unmovable. This is the strength that endures, and the path the chosen ones quietly walk. Renewal does not come without loss. Each trial strips away something that was once clung to, an illusion, an attachment, a false identity. At first, this shedding feels like death, a painful parting with what seemed essential. Yet when the storm passes, what remains is stronger, lighter, and closer to truth. The Shaolin path teaches that the spirit, like the body, must be trained through cycles of breaking and rebuilding. Muscles grow not by ease, but by strain. In the same way, the spirit grows when old layers are broken down. Every disappointment, every hardship, every letting go is part of this silent training. To resist is to remain stuck, to accept is to be renewed. Think of the bamboo, a storm bends it nearly to the ground. The untrained eye believes it will snap, but when the winds fade, the bamboo rises again, rooted and unbroken. Its strength lies not in rigidity, but in its ability to yield and recover. So it is with the chosen ones. They may bend under pressure, yet their roots, discipline, patience, and mindfulness anchor them. When the storm passes, they rise, not as they were, but as something new. Mindfulness is the living act of renewal. Each breath taken with awareness washes away what that has already passed and opens the door to what is now. Each moment seen with clarity is a rebirth, free from the weight of yesterday's burden. Renewal does not wait for years or lifetimes. It happens here, in every conscious step and every quiet breath. To live with this awareness is to understand that trials are not endings but beginnings in disguise. Each shedding reveals the essence that cannot be broken, and from that essence, the spirit rises again, fresh, steady, and alive to the present. To be chosen is not to sit above others, but to stand accountable to something greater than the self. The path is not marked by privilege, but by responsibility. With deeper awareness comes the duty to live with discipline, with integrity, and with service to all beings. In the Shaolin tradition, those who advanced in training were not given freedom to indulge their power. Instead, they were entrusted with the care of the community. The stronger their skill, the greater their duty to protect, guide, and uplift. Strength was never their own possession, it belonged to the path they walked. Awareness is the first responsibility. To live awake, not drifting in forgetfulness, means every action becomes deliberate. Discipline is the second. The chosen ones cannot surrender to chaos within themselves. They must return to balance again and again, for how can they guide others if they themselves are lost? Service is the third. The fruit of mastery is not to hoard wisdom, but to share it, sometimes through words, but most often through the quiet teaching of example. There is a saying among the elders, the lamp does not speak, yet it gives light. In the same way, the chosen uplift, not by constant instruction, but by the steady clarity of their lives. Their calm presence becomes a refuge, their disciplined actions a reminder, their compassion a silent teacher. This responsibility is both weight and blessing. It demands vigilance, yet it offers meaning. To be chosen is not to escape hardship, but to walk into it with awareness, carrying the strength to transform it into light for others. Such is the true honor of the path, not recognition, but alignment with truth itself. Crossing one threshold does not mean the path has ended, it only means a new doorway has opened. To pass a trial is not to rest in final victory, but to step into deeper training. Each breath becomes a practice. Each step becomes a reminder. The journey of the chosen does not grow lighter, it grows clearer. In Shaolin teaching, mastery is not a single achievement, but a rhythm. The monk who completes a form today must repeat it tomorrow. The meditation that feels steady this morning must be renewed in the evening. Discipline does not end with accomplishment, it is sustained through constancy. This is the hidden continuation of the path, the understanding that practice never finishes, it only deepens. One story tells of a disciple who, after years of training, asked his master when the lessons would be complete. The master pointed to the rising sun and said, "As long as it rises, you will have to rise with it." The disciple understood the path of awareness is as endless as the cycle of day and night. There is no end point, only a deepening of presence. For the chosen, this realization is both humbling and liberating. It removes the illusion of final arrival and replaces it with a vision of living practice. Every moment is another chance to balance, to return, to see clearly, and unlike before, the journey is no longer walked in blindness. Where once the fog covered the way, now vision guides each step. To continue is not a burden, but a gift. The path stretches on, not to exhaust you, but to refine you. In walking it, you discover that the true treasure was never in reaching the end, it was in the awakening that happens along the way. To be chosen is not a title to carry, it is a way of living. It means you have walked through hardship and allowed it to shape you, not harden you. It means you have discovered strength in silence and wisdom in stillness. Every trial you faced was an initiation, a hidden training meant to refine your spirit. Now you stand renewed, invited to walk with greater clarity, presence, and balance. This is where the true journey begins, not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet choices you make each day. Let these teachings guide you gently into your own life. Practice patience in the face of struggle. Return to your breath when the mind wanders. Choose restraint when anger rises, and compassion when judgment tempts you. In these small consistent acts, you continue the path of the chosen. Remember, passing was never the end, it was the beginning of living in truth, moment by moment, step by step. Thank you for walking with us today. May these words serve as a light on your journey. If this teaching spoke to you, we invite you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and continue exploring with us here at Shaolin Mind. Peace be upon your path.